follow me to the next dimension. You no time for pacing, there's no time for wasting. Bring it on! You can't stand the violence, so put your hands on your legs and leave in silence. Bring it on! You can't handle the heat. Bring it on! This cannibal is hungry for me. Bring it on!
So we're from France, my friend.
Me too.
for visiting, for watching the biggest.
Very famous monument.
Twine.
Okay.
Twine ball. En France, aucun Français n'aurait eu l'idée de faire ça. No French man, people, guy would have had the idea to make kind of things like that.
C'est fou. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's incredible but true. It's America.
It's a crazy country.
Well, folks, now you see the twine ball in entirety. As you can see, it is round. The only one of the twine balls in competition that is. We're proud of that fact.
You say 40 foot to somebody, and you know, I waffle a bit, but it's roughly 8-9 tons. You know, people don't know what that is. I mean, I can't visualize it until it's, holy heck, you know, look at this thing, you know.
Fascination of bigness is really amazing. I don't know either why, but if that ball of twine was half the size, nobody'd look at it.
So maybe one of the reasons why he did that big ball, a twine ball, is because in America you like to make records, to have the biggest things in the world, the largest, whatever you want.
Everything's larger than in Europe.
Larger in the
buildings,
world.
Roads, trucks, cars.
Cars, I guess, is the classic American thing. I mean, Japanese keep building them smaller, Americans keep adding 4 foot of trunk space, you know? How much stuff can you put in there?
Because your country is big. So
from west coast to east coast, it's very large. Many places.
In fact, you're not a country, you're a continent.
Yes, you're a continent.
I'm a Canadian. One of the first things that I noticed when I moved to Florida is that there is an obsession with bigger is better.
You want to prove to the world that you have the biggest things. It can be a ball, it can be a bridge.
Bigger sodas. And Florida is a hot place. You drink a lot of soda. I gained like 30 pounds because I'd order a soda and it was 64 ounces compared to the 6 I used to get back up north.
You take a beer in a bar, you got this size.
In Europe, it's this size.
This size.
You know.
You have, yeah.
They're fascinated and obsessed by big. Bigger is better.
That's America.
And that's cool for us because...
And I'm sorry to say that, but people sometimes are very big too.
2 gals came in, and I really appreciated when they asked to have their picture with me. And they were from Big Girl, Big Stuff travel group. I got through the email that they do have us on their list now. So we cuddled in the doorway of the twine ball, the gazebo. And they were both larger than me, and I thought, boy, is this great.
Finally here. It's our first time.
Why would people want to see the ball of twine? Curiosity to what it actually does look like.
No charge even.
It's that they have to see it. Their imagination is working overtime. What does the world's biggest string ball look like?
It's fun to watch small children. They'll come up and their eyes will get big and their hands will come up and they want to push it.
The amazed answers you get from them when they look at it.
This is crazy. That is humongous.
They've heard about it. A lot of them have been wanting to get there and didn't get there until finally they made it.
Look, it's one of the wonders of Minnesota. It's a souvenir. The big spam guy in Paul Bunyan.
Sometimes it's an incredulous smile like, can't believe this, you know, but they still smile.
I guess you would say it would be like a religious experience. I just remember a gal from Florida that came in and I said, you know, if you promise not to pull on the twine, I'll open the door of the gazebo. And she got in there and her arms flew up and she laid against it and she just like she'd passed out. I finally seen it all these years now. I finally seen it. And she was going, I thought.
How do they roll twine?
And there's some people will come in and they'll just stand and giggle because they're so amazed, you know, and they finally seen this.
It's my birthday present before I go back to Tucson. I'm in the Air Force. She just turned 21 this weekend. Figured I had to see the ball of twine before I left the States. It says, please sign guest book that's inside the mailbox. Let's do it.
What does the ball symbolize? A lot of work, a lot of patience,
The twine ball rules. I love twine.
and a lot of love. He must have just loved that ball.
That's a lot of people. That's what, like 50 pages? Wow, front and back. They're celebrating their anniversary at the Twine Ball. Oh my gosh! That's awesome. Just that. Here you go. So uncreative. All right, I got it. Here we go, Miss Creative. We love twine. There we go. What can we say? Beautiful. Beautiful. We're part of history, girls.
I'll open the door.
Oh, okay. That would be awesome.
There won't be any reflection.
We have people that come from cities who have no idea what twine is.
There isn't a lot of twine. There's not a lot of people involved with twine anymore. They get in and they smell this, and of course some have never smelled twine. It isn't a common smell like it used to be. Every farm had some twine around, you know.
The farmers used that twine. They had twine available whenever anything needed to be tied up. And they could make straight lines with it. They could plant their gardens with it.
Sisal twine is made from a plant that's similar to marijuana plant, and it has strong fibers in it. They have these fibers and they weave them and wind them into rope-like substance that's called twine. In Canada, they raise a lot of it, I understand, but in the United States, they have reservations about it for fear that there's going to be marijuana mixed with these other plants.
We don't have any lighters.
It's a big ball of twine.
It's amazing that people will go up to it and they'll smell that ball. Oh, I remember that, they'll say.
Oh, it smells like twine, you know.
Frankly, it doesn't smell good. But it has its distinct aroma.
What if they just wrap the twine around a big wooden ball?
People might ask, what's in the middle of that ball? It's all twine.
What is this?
I don't think it's
Something that reminds people of their past.
how much twine they use, it's how big it is.
And they hadn't really thought about living that way anymore.
Hug the ball.
You know, they kind of like that. They like the country feeling. It's just a different, more relaxed, more friendly way of living around here.
It's incredible. We have combien de miles? 7,000. About 7,000 miles across the Atlantic to go here
To see a ball.
to see this ball. It's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
My uncle builds world's largest ball of twine in Bundy, Minnesota. It makes me proud. I'm American. I kind of misunderstood the assignment.
I am Harlan F. Johnson. I'm a nephew of Francis A. Johnson. Francis was born to Magnus Johnson. He was a U.S. Senator, and his wife, Harriet.
My mother told me to always to not waste anything, and she didn't, you know. That kind of got me started.
His mother was a real inspiration to never throw anything away. So he saved a store string. If anybody remembers buying a package in a local store, they wrapped it in string.
The birth of the interest in string balls is related to post offices, and FDR in specific. It turns out the post office in the 1930s, by legal demand, had to recycle string. They were not allowed to unwrap the parcels and just throw it away like people would do today, like I would do today. You know? The first few balls that we become aware of in the 1930s are all made by postal employees. I guess they're sitting there at the front counter going, oh, damn string, you know, what am I supposed to do with it? And they tie a knot and they put it under the counter or something. And it really seems that it became almost competitive. There's post offices that are bragging they've got a ball that's 24 inches. Oh, that's nothing, I got one that's 48. Now, we don't see any monstrous ones, but, you know, call it 200-300 pounds, 4 or 5 feet. There was all kinds of them in the 30s. Some of the most serious collectors I've met were formulated by the Depression. They grew up in an environment, whether it be just their family or the town or the whole country, that, you know, you didn't waste things.
Most people acquired some values that at my age they still have them, and our children and grandchildren don't understand that at all.
I don't think my children and my grandchildren have the same value on saving that we do, because it was a necessity.
No matter how obscure or little or whatever they are, you know, there's a use for it. You might need this today. Pick it up off the ground, put it in the drawer, and remember you got it.
I started this in first week in March, 1950, the turn of the half century. Twine was accumulating around on the farm there, and I started winding it around with 2 fingers, and I kept saving it, and one cold day and went down the basement and started winding it up.
I remember as a child, I suppose I was about 8, 9 years old, and the twine ball was so much smaller I could climb up on it and sit, and my cousins would play with it too.
The first time I saw it maybe wasn't much bigger than a softball.
Then the twine ball, of course, grew and grew and grew.
One day he said he looked up the stairway and he wondered how he's going to get the ball out of there if he didn't get it out in a short time.
I had to roll it out of the basement. Well, I could still get it through a 30-inch door.
For the first year or two, we were able to carry it around from one building to another.
So then he moved it out upstairs and into the barn.
And then I moved it to Darwin, and then I had to use a bigger pickup.
They moved the ball of twine in an old Studebaker pickup, and it weighed 3,600 pounds. And they set it then on the front lawn of France's house so that he could continue to roll.
After it started getting about a couple feet big, I seen on television a guy had a big ball of twine, and I figured, well, maybe someday I'll be on television with my ball of twine. And later on I was.
At one point back in 1958, I'm pretty sure it was 58, CBS television called and asked him if he would want to bring his twine ball for the I've Got a Secret, Gary Moore's show. They would send a truck out, it turned out to be an Allied van, and that they would load the twine ball and take it to New York City. In fact, one of the locals here helped load it with his backhoe, and then it weighed 6,800 pounds, which is 3.5 tons, nearly 3.5 tons. They headed off for New York City, and Francis flew out there.
Well, the whole neighborhood, you know, when he was on TV, the whole neighborhood around knew that Francis was going to be there.
Samuel, you all ready to play the game? Yep. All right, then let's have our first contestant, please.
And they had already determined that they wanted to have him come through the curtain pulling the string and not show the ball.
This is Mr. Johnson. He is from Darwin, Minnesota. Mr. Johnson, you seem to have a string there.
So I do.
So you do. Leads backstage to something, obviously. Well, let's find out what it is. You whisper your secret to me, and we'll show it to the folks at home. Here we go, Mr. Johnson. Tell me your secret.
The question would be, how long is the string, or to what city in the United States would it reach if it was unrolled? They had taken off several hundred feet and weighed it and measured the length. And that's the calculation they used to determine that by the pound, 6,800 pounds, there was enough twine, if rolled out, that it would reach Panama City, Florida.
Panel, to help classify Mr. Johnson's secret, I will tell you it concerns something that he has, and Bill Cullen will start the questioning with you.
Is it a live something that you have on the end there?
No.
No.
And of course, you know, I've got a secret what's back there, and no one guessed.
Take a look here. Can you open the curtains, fellas? This, we think, quite possibly is the biggest ball of string in the world.
Our company is based on one man. Robert Ripley was a newspaper cartoonist. He wants to prove to the rest of the world that there's stuff out there that is stranger than fiction, and just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not true. String balls, in specific, appeared in our cartoon back in March of 1930, so we know that Mr. Ripley was personally interested in these things. I joined the company in May of 1978. Very early in my career, I came across the 1971 Ripley's Believe It or Not cartoon showing Francis Johnson and the large ball. And we have a really nice color photograph from that era, that Mr. Johnson sent to us. Most of the stuff in Ripley's, they find us as opposed to us finding them. They know that Ripley's is interested in the odd and the unusual, the weird, the unbelievable. Dear Mr. Ripley, I've got a ball on my front lawn that's 40 feet in circumference and weighs 10 tons. Yeah, Mr. Ripley's interested. We typically verify things with photographs. Whoever worked before me obviously liked it enough that they made the cartoon from it, but I saw the photograph and went, holy smokes, this is one of the neatest things I've ever seen. In a world of weird, this is about as good as it gets.
He was asked many times, why did you wind all this twine? And his stock answer was, because it was there.
Why do you think? Why? Pourquoi il aurait fait ça? Do you think he did that because he wanted to be famous or something?
Well, I don't know about that, about being famous.
Francis probably had no idea when he started winding it that it would ever amount to anything.
Maybe he thought that if I continue to the ball,
twine,
maybe I will in the Guinness Book of Records.
Maybe he wanted to be in a Guinness Book, maybe too.
I don't think the Guinness Book meant anything to him. I don't think being in Ripley's meant anything to him. I don't think being on television meant anything to him. It just happened.
I suppose that some people would say, well, a man would say that much string is just crazy.
Well, you don't have to be crazy, but it helps a lot. That's for sure.
I guess I would say Francis was eccentric.
There are a lot of eccentric old people in the world.
A little bit different than other people in some ways.
Gosh, this guy's a kook.
He never shaved.
He was kind of a joker.
Very unassuming. You hardly knew he was around.
Egocentric.
But when you realized what he was doing, you knew he was around.
He was part of the history of the area. He was unique and different.
I'm a modest little guy from the sticks.
I think he wanted just to collect string.
They got to take me as I am.
It deserves attention. It is a monumental feat by one man who's truly obsessed.
I think after he went to the TV show, after that, everybody admired him. Then all of a sudden he was a folk hero.
He's remembered. And of course we have a celebration once a year that brings those memories back.
I think this is the 13th annual for the Twine Ball Days, and it's grown. It used to be like 3 craft sales, and now it's like mega craft sales, mega vendors. I mean,
People who come for the parade.
the people that come for the parade.
10 people.
Yeah, and then it's gotten to where there's a whole street load of people.
The Twine Ball put Darwin on the map.
We've been in Darwin, Minnesota. Come on, Trevor, let's hammer down. Bring that.
People come by the thousands a year to see this ball, and that to me is a real tribute to Francis for what he did and for what he's done for Darwin.
We come every year and we enjoy it, and it makes us get together as a family. drive out on purpose so we can be together and celebrate together with Twine Ball Days.
Since 1984, I've been here, and it's because of the Twine Ball, the people.
I saw the Twine Ball about a year and a half ago. It was in the spring, and that's when I first found out about Twine Ball Days.
And they're planning their wedding, and she wanted to make up gift bags for the wedding. And so we decided we needed to stop at Twine Ball Inn to see if there was some little favor that we could throw in the wedding bag for the guests.
A miniature world's largest ball of twine.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the miniature world's largest ball of twine because I think it's the funniest souvenir I've ever heard of.
Right?
Yeah.
Because she says they all think it's a big deal.
As far as celebrities coming to Darwin to see the Twine Ball, I really don't know, except that Weird Al did make a trip to Darwin, to my wife's delight. And of course, he's the one that has a song, and we've enjoyed that over the years. In fact, it's played quite a bit around Darwin, I think.
Twine Ball exit 50 miles. Oh, the kids were so happy they started singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall for the 27th time that day. So we pulled off the road at the last chance gas station, got a few more pickled wieners and a diet chocolate soda. On our way to see the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. We're gonna see the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota.
People wonder why he put the ball of twine right in the front of his house. But it was just as a curiosity and as an interest. He wanted people to see it.
I think that Francis really liked to be here right by the highway, and then of course also the people traveling by here would see this ball of twine and they would think about it, and then they would whip in here and then he could sit and visit. Many hours of sitting here talking with strangers. Francis did not have a wife or any kids, and he had to have something to utilize his time. So that was his baby, that twine ball.
I think his collecting and his winding of the twine ball was a replacement for having a family. He didn't really seem to care to have much attachment to our family, like on holidays, except Thanksgiving. He liked to eat.
Being a bachelor and lived alone, he liked and needed people to stop in.
People stopped by out of curiosity when they saw this ball. But he had many other collections also, so if you stopped at Francis's, especially someone who'd never been there before, that wasn't just a 15-minute look at the ball of twine, because he had all these other collections that he was proud to show off also.
5,000 pens and pencils.
Wrenches.
5,500 wrenches.
Jacks.
And I've cleaned up 700 of them. The ends of my fingers were worn off and bleeding.
Nail aprons.
Forgot the nail aprons. That's hard to believe.
Donated that to Ripley's.
Old machinery, old hardware, old tools.
Hammers. He had a large hammer collection.
I got over 400 different kinds of hammers, hatchets, and mallets. I got dozens and dozens of gadgets that most people don't know what they're for.
What didn't he collect?
This, I don't know if this is a weapon or it looks like something from Fred Flintstone. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know what this thing is. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it was a tamper. Who knows? Francis had it.
The brain cells are a little different than yours and I. He's a collector. Collectors are obviously a very strange breed, but that people do these weird things is what Ripley's is all about. I've met people that collect airplane sickness bags, cow hairballs, Pez dispensers, and it just becomes compulsive, it becomes obsessive, and they look themselves in the mirror and say, I got 50 of these darn things. I wonder how long it would take me to get 100. Now I got 100. I wonder if I could ever get 1,000. The true collector is totally committed to their collection. They live and die for it. While they're watching TV, they're tying the knots. While they're walking to the store, they're looking at the ground, seeing if there's a piece of string to pick up. No matter what it is they collect, there is a very common behavioral thing. They just like size. You know, they want everything.
Well, I begin to think I might make the biggest one in the world.
Based on the success of his ball and the notoriety he gets, competition starts. The little town of Cawker City, Kansas has a run at it, and eventually they are head-to-head with Mr. Francis Johnson's ball.
Our sign at the Ball of Twine says we are the world's largest ball of twine. Frankly, when I do publicity, I usually just say we are the largest ball of twine.
No, we're not in competition with anyone. We just simply have a large ball of twine down here that people enjoy seeing.
You know, I don't want to lie. I don't want to stretch the truth too much, but when our signs were made, we were the largest.
And if there's another large ball of sisal twine someplace, hey, that's great.
We're the largest right here. We're the largest sisal. We're whatever.
Till they can prove us differently, we're still standing on the provision that we have the largest ball of sisal twine in the world.
Hey, 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 easy, kids. Come on, cut it out. Everybody in the car. Boat leaves in 2 minutes.
Or perhaps you don't want to see the second largest ball of twine on the face of the earth, which is only 4 short hours away.
We are a roadside attraction. We're not a place like Disney, but we are a place that attracts a lot of attention. The Travel Channel did a TV program on roadside attractions. They picked the top 10. We are number 4. We're right up there with Lizzie Borden's home, the Cadillac Ranch, lots of fun places.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells.
It was 1953 that this story began as Frank began making a ball of twine. And so that was a kind of a Christmas present for the whole community as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he just started out cleaning up twine. He had no idea this would ever come to this.
Behind me is the barn. You'll see the barn where the large door is, and it was this door that you open up, and it was there that Frank did the work as he rolled this ball of twine.
He was supposed to have surgery, and the doctor wanted him to lose some weight. And so he just picked this ball of twine up and went to exercise and rolling the twine in a ball.
This is the barn, and this is the area in which Frank made the famous ball of twine that we have in Cawker City. It was right here in this area that he made that ball. Yes, I remember Frank Stober, very good farmer. Frank was helpful and modest. I don't think he was trying to make the largest ball of twine. I think he was doing it because he enjoyed it, and his friends enjoyed coming to see it, and he enjoyed showing it to them.
If he did something, he did it right.
He was good at making little round balls with any kind of twine.
I never knew Frank was making a ball of twine till he came into my yard one morning in his pickup truck, and he wanted to know if I had any twine that he could get. It was mostly bales like this that we got the twine off that Frank used for the making of the ball. He took all my twine that morning, and I was grateful to get rid of it.
He'd get this twine to put on the ball and then go home and tie them together and count them. And write that in his book, where it came from. Which farmer, you know, had him get this twine. And he keep the footage down by guess as he tied it together, right in the book. As it got larger, people, neighbors, and whoever saw it was kind of thrilled to see it, and so that kept him going.
He was always glad to show me that ball and how much he had progressed. The neighbors would come in and visit, and he'd be proud to show them his ball of twine that he had, the contribution of many friends who gave twine, and he would wind it on his ball.
After he got started and he needed twine, well, he got to talking about it. Well, naturally, that he was known all over Cawker and Glen. They'd know who he was and get a hold of him.
A lot of people thought, hey, this guy is making a ball of twine down there, and they kind of thought he was maybe, well, unusual, let's put it mildly. As time come, him being unusual has made him famous.
It might have been in the late 50s that they took it to Bloitford to bet on it.
Yeah, I think they had a contest. Different ones would guess what it would weigh, and they'd get some little prize, you know, the one that guessed it the closest.
I'd say it was about 5 feet in diameter at that time.
He measured it. Out on the farm, he had farm scales that he could weigh his wheat and stuff on. He'd take the ball of twine with the little tractor out on the scales.
And they would weigh within 2 pounds, your weight. They're accurate.
I think there's been competition for the largest ball of twine now for quite a few years. Francis knew about Mr. Stober in Cawker City, Kansas.
I don't think Frank knew of any other ball of twine anywhere.
He was really excited about it. He was heading for Cawker City to check out that other twine ball that was being constructed.
He knew about the Cawker because that fellow from Cawker had been up to see him.
Went up and looked at it. But he said it wasn't near the ball, this one. There's different kinds of twine on it and such as that.
Frank Stober came up and talked to Francis about rolling and told Francis, he said, I'm going to roll a bigger ball than you've got. And Francis didn't seem to have much of a comment.
I think Francis would probably say, oh, good for him. It's kind of cool. And, you know, I think he'd be interested. You know, like he'd know why he collected it, but why'd you do it? I think he would have laughed and been amused and maybe even honored that someone had taken it upon themselves to beat his record.
I don't know if it bothered him, and yet I think really deep down, I think Francis had a lot of pride in his. And I don't think he thought anybody else could roll one as nice and as round as all as he did.
To get the twine ready to wind, he would lay it out straight in the approximately 10-foot lengths. And then he would sit out on the lawn if it was summertime and tie the lengths together with square knots, and then it would be ready to pull up over the ball.
Coming off from a bale, it would be tied end to end. So these would have to be cut, and he would retie them into a long line of string.
Francis had a stick with a roller on the end. And I think it was a snap-out roller that he slipped the twine into, and then he could walk around the ball with this stick and guide the string onto the ball.
He had like a stick, like a cane with a hook on the end. He'd put it up over there with the stick, you know, and draw it down tight. He'd draw it tight all the time. He kept that ball solid.
It was very important to him to have it round, and he kept it round.
To keep the ball round, he had to move it occasionally. In fact, I think after a good day, he had to move it for the next day. My brother and I came down here one time with a couple of big jacks. If he was alone, he could put them against the ball and make it roll. Maybe only a couple feet, but that's all he needed.
He had rollers here that he could set it on when it got large enough, so he could roll it on rollers and keep the perspective of the ball as it should be.
Well, Francis told me that the most he ever worked on it was 6 hours a day. It's a lot of miles, though, when you walk around that ball.
It got too big. He couldn't roll it in and out of the big barn door.
Frank took the doors off the barn, and the sides that are on the side of the barn had to be removed so that the ball of twine could be taken out. He couldn't put any more twine on it there, and so he didn't know what he was going to do, and the city found out where he was at on it. So the city fathers, the commercial club, came out and observed this ball of twine evidently and decided, hey, this has something of interest for our town. We can use this.
It pretty much just sat. There was a cover put over it. I believe the first one was canvas, and then there was one that was wooden to sort of be a protection, and it was just there, basically.
Frank Stober died in 1974. Francis continued to roll till 1979 and ended up with the largest ball of twine in the Guinness Book of Records.
And he was in there for 24 years, I'm pretty sure it was right.
1979, I believe he just quit rolling. And I was thinking that it was probably a real chore to turn the ball anymore, to get around the ball and to keep it round like he was very fussy. And I suppose at that point is when he decided he was going to quit.
I feel bad that I can't continue. So I might have made it bigger, but then I made the world with it, and then I thought if somebody else wanted to make a bigger one, they're welcome to it.
As long as there is a Guinness Book of Records out there, somebody has to have the record. And that's what motivates the people that are in the Guinness Book of Records. I can do this. I can beat that.
Townspeople of Cawker, Kansas decided that they wanted to again get into competition.
Different times we've talked about maybe trying to get back into the Guinness Book of World Records. In the 70s, they really got more interested and got excited about it. So some of our town fathers decided, it's here, why don't we do something about it? So we made it bigger.
Cawker City was in the race.
It became a project to some of the people in the community saying, hey, let's wrap more twine to the ball to keep it growing.
So they get together and roll and roll and roll.
Oh, Ever, good thing you had a hold of that.
Yeah, that's right, I'm ready. We need to tie on another spool here. Okay.
We not only accepted this ball of twine that Frank Stober brought to town and gave us, we kept it, we've added to it, rather than hauling it off to the sanitary landfill. We do try to keep the ball purely sisal twine. Most of our twine that we use, it's new twine.
We want the 16,000 big round, what they use on the ball of twine.
We used to use the old twine. And at one time, some of the elder ladies would sit around and they would tie knots and tie the small pieces of twine together. The local co-op now gives us most of our twine that we use. It's new twine. Our ball of twine grows. We know how it is growing because we do keep records. Frank Stober kept records. Just last night, we added 76 pounds. So now we're up to this 7,069,000 number. And we weigh that's how many feet? 7,069,710 feet in the ball of twine right now. And there are 17,768 pounds. We talk about the circumference being around 41 feet, and we really don't change that number too much because it does sag a little bit.
Westmoreland Chapter Twine Wrappers Association. Can't beat a deal like that, give them a hand. Every little bit helps, huh?
Hi, how you doing?
That's Linda Clover at Cawker City. She's the ball of twine caretaker. You're just cheating there, you put some on your hat.
The ball of twine is 50 years old, and we have celebrated the ball of twine for 30 years with a Twine-a-thon. We get people together from Cawker City, from all over the world.
You got to keep up that record because who else has a ball of twine? Minnesota has a ball of twine.
This Twine-a-thon lasts all night. It wasn't just a few hours in the evening. They would set up the grills, they would cook and have a good time. Some of them really don't pay too much attention to the ball. That's maybe something for old people.
Ripley's featured it in the cartoon in the early 90s. We acknowledge it as being a great, interesting, believe it or not, piece, but we've never quite felt it was as good as Mr. Johnson's because it wasn't one man's endeavor.
We've encouraged people from all over to come and add because that makes them feel a very personal part of Cawker City, even if they live in California.
I come from San Bernardino, California. Colton, actually. This is fun. My grandkids are just gonna love it.
Our ball of twine is everyone's ball of twine. In this way, we involve all ages. This year, we had more younger children wanting to wrap twine than some years. And frankly, that's kind of nice. They can go around that ball lots faster than the rest of us. Our ball of twine is not just about the competition. It's about what it means to people, and people come, and they like to be a part of it, and we can always tell them, you're working on getting us to be the biggest, if we're not the biggest.
I'm a part of history.
It's amazing. People sometimes from a long ways away bring twine. At the post office one day, they told me, you have a fairly nice-sized box, and it was from Reading, Pennsylvania, and they sent Linda Clover, ball of twine, Cawker City, Kansas, and I opened it, and there was twine.
I live in a small town outside of Chicago, which has been overtaken. It's become quite populated. Sit in traffic for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. I was cruising through the internet one day and looking up the world's largest something and ran across the write-up on the world's largest ball of twine. Took a long weekend and came on down here to see the ball of twine. Upon reaching Cawker City, I was immediately able to take it down a couple of gears. Less a point of coming to see the ball of twine than it was to come to see the people who have a ball of twine as a source of civic pride. It's almost like this is taking a step back out of big city life and returning to what the middle of America is supposed to be about.
Kansas is in the middle of the United States. Our heart in our bodies is in the middle. We're the heartland.
Everyone's very friendly, everyone's very trusting, and it's a total change from city life, which is everyone's out to get me. There's a certain level of paranoia that exists in any urban setting. People lock their doors, they put alarms on their homes, they have alarms on their cars. Out here, I feel funny locking the doors of my rental car. When I walk down the street and I see all the cars are open and the keys are in the ignitions. I'm staying in a motel and I feel like I'm a guest in someone's house. That feeling pervades this area. That's gone in the city. I believe it was on its way out prior to 9/11. But post 9/11, it's entirely gone. It's you have to walk around being wary of everyone you speak to, everyone you see, and there's reason for it. I mean, again, that basic trust between human beings has been broken. And is it repairable? I don't know.
In 9/11, a lot happened to a lot of people. They didn't all have to be where the tragedies actually took place. It affected people's lives. It's made people realize they need to be closer to other people, to reach out, to trust, to care more about people. For one thing, you don't know when something might change very suddenly.
People here have a very deep sense of community, sense of family, of religion, of old-fashioned American values that's gone in the city. There's a certain amount of trust that humans have, human being to human being. I came here to kind of renew that trust. I needed an anti-city prescription. This filled the bill.
In a small town like Cawker City, we only have just over 500 people. Everyone knows everyone. We care about everyone.
I know people that live in apartment buildings that are stacked on top of each other. They don't know their neighbors. They've lived in a building for 4 and 5 years and they don't know the people they live right next door to. I don't think you could be here 5 or 10 minutes. I wasn't here more than 15 minutes before I met Linda.
He is so happy here. He is enjoying it so much. He says this is the way it should be. We trust everyone in our community, and we hope we're helping other people to trust and care about other people, too.
In the way, it's truly a magnet that people come here to see that. They hear about it, and if they're within 100 miles of here, most generally they'll come.
Other than climbing on the ball, we don't really have a lot of vandalism. It was set on fire by some local students just for the fun of it. It did not do much.
That didn't work in Darwin. People were sampling and taking little samples of twine, and also the gazebo was built.
That you now can't see the ball of string. You can't walk in there. It's like every inch, and you look in this window that's a tinted glass. But my recollection is, you can't literally see the ball.
Well, people will say, we can't see through it to take a picture. They can see it if they, What I will do is open the door and make them promise that they aren't going to snip any twine or yank on it or anything.
We've talked in the past about enclosing the ball of twine, putting plexiglass around it, preserving it better, so people could not touch it, so people could not climb on it. Why? It would lose what it is if we did that. I find yarn, I find pieces of string. People stop and they put anything on it. They want to be a part of it. And I just give it a little shove, push it in to the ball, and they're a part of it. We don't weigh it. We don't add that in with it. I don't want anyone to feel like they're not important enough to have a part in our ball of twine, except if they bring plastic twine. And if someone does put a little piece of plastic twine on it, frankly, it's snipped off, and it does disappear. Next time, who knows where it'll be tied on? We'll just go for it. That's the end of that spool, so we're ready to add some more. Whenever somebody else wants to go, we'll do more. Hi. Wanted to see the ball, huh? We have some new tourists coming. We'll let them wrap. We'll find you some twine.
Where do you find out where you get started?
In the beginning, it was all one long piece when Frank Stover did it out in his barn. But now we just tie on any place and go. Oh, that'll work. We have to be flexible around here. Just pull it as tight as you can. If you want to, one can walk behind with the glove. We like to be a team effort here. We have no way of knowing how many people actually come to the Ball of Twine.
At first, we didn't keep the records, I understand.
I have no idea, but you can look out my window almost any time and see somebody over at the Ball of Twine.
Say twine. Twine.
In summer, 150 to 200 a day.
In the winter, sometimes they just quickly take a picture.
Practically every state in the Union has their name, someone's name logged there, and a lot of foreigners.
People from Scotland, Russia, Argentina, Venezuela, Australia. I don't know, people just like to see the world's largest ball of twine, and it always amazes me how many people from New York.
In England, they're very fascinated by us. Radio shows they call and have me talk about the ball of twine. Those people maybe have no idea what twine is, but it's something interesting to them.
I had an antique store here, and a lady come in one day, and she was from England, and she was looking for souvenirs, and there were none. And she said, "You mean I came all these thousands of miles to see the world's largest ball of twine, and I can't even buy a souvenir?" So I was talking to my daughter-in-law, and I said, "Somebody's got to do something." So this was the first type of souvenir that I made. And I just take a ping pong ball, and I take the twine, and I soak it in put it into Elmer's glue, and then I start wrapping it around and around and around. And then after it dries, I glue it onto the fossil rock. And I do go out and hunt fossil rocks, just for the ball of twine.
I have this friend. Her name is Cher Olson. She's an artist.
My art studio is in the old blacksmith shop and it's right across from the Ball of Twine.
We have so many businesses that have closed and left them not looking very neat. There had been a study done that if you wash your windows and put curtains up, you look better. You look so much more attractive.
One day I happened to be sitting down and I think, oh, that's it. We need to put something in the windows. We need to put masterpieces in the windows, but each masterpiece should have the ball of twine. When I told the idea to Linda, she thought that was really good.
Some are recognizable, like Grant Wood's American Gothic, We have a Salvador Dali. We have Matisse, Monet. We have Andy Warhol's soup can, but ours is Twine soup, not tomato soup. We have a painting of 3 ice cream cones. And some people are surprised that someone painted the American flag. Van Gogh did a postman. We have him hanging in our post office. The Scream is one so many people recognize.
And we thought, well, we need some sculpture pieces along with having paintings. We thought we'd do a Michelangelo's David. And we put it up. Lo and behold, we almost have a traffic wreck. People were coming by and just stopping and looking and gazing. It drew controversy right from the start, but eventually I did get a letter. They just really thought it was distasteful of me to hang that painting up like that. Well, I, being a minister's wife, felt like I don't want to offend anybody, but I thought I did a really good job because I put a ball right in the place that you would normally cover up. So, I don't know. I told Linda, I says, let's just take it down. We had a young gal who was probably David's age and asked if we wouldn't sell that painting. I mean, this was in the first 5 minutes of the display.
A lot of people have tried to buy it, including myself. I'd like to buy it too, and it's not for sale.
One reason I really don't care to sell the painting is my husband says, no, I want the painting.
A stop sign.
I says, okay, we'll keep it if you want, David, but I says, it's fine with me if you sell it. It does my heart good to go up and down Main Street of this little town and see people with their cameras taking pictures of the storefronts. And the neat part about the project, I think, is that people can come all over the world, which they do to see the ball of twine. They come from different countries, and they all have some kind of art history, studied art in school, so they know these paintings, and they kind of feel like they're in familiar territory, even if they're in the middle of Kansas.
Have you ever seen the world's biggest ball of twine?
Nope.
We'll drive.
Why are we driving? I mean, why don't we fly?
Nope, we need time. Besides, I will get to see the world's largest ball of twine. It's on the way.
The world's largest ball of twine has a circumference of 45 feet.
What's the excuse?
Well, it's just going to take a little longer than we thought because we have to stay off the main highway.
Fly.
Well, he won't fly.
At one time, when Ripley's, believe it or not, was building their new museum, they offered to buy our ball of twine.
I've never been to Cawker City. I always pictured Cawker City as secondary because it had the whole town involved.
They wanted to buy this ball of twine several years ago, and they offered them $75,000.
I didn't know a number, but we wouldn't sell it at all. No, this is really important to us.
They asked me to come and see it more than once, I guess. When it was featured in the movie Michael, they, proudly phoned me and said, show jars is the best.
So Ripley says, or the spokesman says, you must be rich out there. She says, no, but you sound like you are.
I never respected the Cawker City ball because it just, to me, was a wannabe. A whole town doing something. It's cute and it's middle America, but it doesn't have passion.
Francis Johnson didn't ever smoke a cigarette in his life, didn't work around welding or anything, but he died of emphysema. And it was blamed on the fibers and the chemical and the twine and the hours that he put in around that ball that caused his death. Nobody would ever think of that, but that was his cause of death.
He wanted to do. And if that was his demise, well, then I think probably that was the best way for it to be.
Out of this life I shall never take. Things of silver and gold I make. All that I cherish and hoard away, after I leave this earth must stay. What shall they find and what shall they see? In the soul that answers that call for me. Shall the great judge learn when my task is through, that my spirit has gained some riches too? Or shall at last it be mine to find, that all I'd worked for I'd left behind? Francis, I believe, was eccentric even after a long lifetime, even maybe after death. He wanted to be cremated and spread his ashes over the home farm. We did not do that. We buried his ashes with his mother and father in Dassel, Minnesota. I'm admitting that I disobeyed his orders. I don't know who all knows that, but I don't care. Nobody can come back and hit me where they head now. Nearer to his death, he would ask me, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, I don't know at this time. We've got to find somebody that's willing to take it.
It was Harlan, the administrator's choice as to where it was going to go. And he offered it to the community club. When it came to our chance to get it, let's put it that way, we jumped at the opportunity.
I think the day it was moved from his home to Darwin had to be the ultimate moment in the old Twine Ball's life.
People were sure that there were rodents and rats and probably skunks even coming out of the bottom, and that the ball would not hold up. I think everybody had their own idea of this was the end of the ball of twine.
Moving the twine ball from Francis's home into Darwin is only about a half a mile. We knew it would take a large front loader, but being out on the end of the forks, it was a little touch and go whether it could lift it. It'd be very embarrassing to lose that 19,000 pound ball on the highway. So we tied it down, secured it, wasn't good. Went to the elevator and waited.
Okay, I guess we're ready to go.
Everybody brought their chairs and were lined up along the street watching this, you know. Yeah, as it passed, on the highway, this is something that was very unusual to see. And of course, as it went down and went over the railroad tracks, all the comments of people that saying, it's never going to make it. You can imagine if any strangers would have seen this ball of twine coming down the street 40 feet around on this trailer, and then again being loaded onto the cement slab. That was quite an experience.
I can say I'm proud of what happened here. The twine ball is being shown, and I think we did the right thing.
This is definitely a tribute to Francis for what he did and for what he's done for Darwin.
If he's looking down at us today, I think he'd be very happy.
No one could appreciate it more than I do, the Francis Johnson Memorial. Shortly after Francis's death, Ripley's came to the estate wanting the ball of twine.
Their vice president in charge of procurement called us back in 89, 90.
In 1990, I was contacted by Harlan Johnson and asked if I was still interested in the ball that Ripley's had tried to buy 15, 20 years before.
They wanted the twine ball for their newest museum, so we said, well, you can come here. I don't think you're going to get it. I promised it to Darwin, but if you can talk them out of it, it's all right with me.
And I said, absolutely. It's the holy grail to me, If I could put the world's biggest ball on display in a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum where millions of people are going to see it as opposed to the town of Darwin, it's a kid in a candy store. I'm as excited as all hell.
So he met here at our house, and we went to a meeting that we had called with the community club in Darwin.
Seriously, I'm led to believe that everybody in that whole town showed up. They moved the location of it because there was too many people. Shook hands at the door, and Harlan introduced me to people, and I was proud. Oh, wow. I'm popular. They love me, you know. All these people come to listen to me, you know, and better give them a good show.
I believe everybody had on either a twine ball jacket or shirt or a cap. And I could see his mouth drop, and he was not happy to see this.
I did a low budget but intense dog and pony show to try and convince the town to give me the ball of string. And I couldn't get them to smile. I couldn't get them to laugh. I got stone-faced for 90 minutes.
To sell it? Oh, there would never, there would never be a sale on it as far as the community club.
It ended up that they just practically booed him down when he made the offer.
It was at that point that I realized that there wasn't a hope in hell Ripley's was ever going to get the Francis Johnson ball of string. And I folded up my shop and said, well, thank you very much. That's all I have to say. Is there any questions? And there was a woman at the back of the room, and she said some words I won't repeat. And I suddenly realized not only did these people not care about what I had just spoken about, they didn't like me too much.
And as he concluded his speech and people started to leave, we'd hear, no, we don't want him to have that. That's ours. It belongs to us.
There was no way they would get that ball of twine, no matter what he offered.
I literally was ran out of town, okay? It was the ugliest day of my life. We were followed in pickup trucks through the snow back to his farm. I was scared. I don't know if he was, but I was out and out terrified. And ultimately, when we got back to his house and felt some sort of comfort, Harlan, I can leave tomorrow, but you gotta live here. And he said, I never realized the town, this meant so much to them. I had no idea.
The twine ball really was a reason to keep this community going. See, we're on the map.
I think the ball of twine in Darwin kind of symbolizes a new era, a revitalization of the town a little bit.
Whenever I see somebody and they ask me where I'm from, and I say Minnesota, and I say Darwin, they know because of the twine ball.
The town of Darwin, in my mind, made a crucial mistake. I think that I offered them as much money as I could have, but money really wasn't the issue, and I thought it was. They missed the opportunity of fame. I could have put their ball in front of 2 million people a year. Their name would have always been beside it. Darwin, Minnesota built this ball that you're looking at right here in Ripley's. And they missed that opportunity. I guess I visited Darwin just the once. There's nothing there. Darwin is in the middle of nowhere, and where are the people?
I believe that Francis's legacy kept the town alive.
The only thing that ever happened in the town of Darwin is Francis Johnson's ball of string. And I knew Francis personally. I mean, that's where they come from. He was one of us. He's related to my sister Carol or whatever. It binds the whole town. It binds, no pun intended, but it was the string that tied that town together. I still would consider the ball in Darwin one of the all-time great believe it or nots. I certainly rank it very high in the things that I personally came in contact with. I mean, I've read about things in Egypt and China, but to actually have seen the ball and met the family, I was more interested in Francis Johnson than I was the ball of string. The story, the creator, almost everything at Ripley's, the story behind the object is what turns me on. With Francis Johnson and the ball out of my mind, I boarded an airplane in grief. I'm going, how do I go back to Toronto and tell them I not only didn't get the ball of string, I almost got lynched. What do I do now? I picked up a newspaper and I read about a guy named J.C. Payne. It was totally out of spite, okay? Totally out of spite. I said, when I get back in Toronto 2 hours from now, I am calling Texas and I'm gonna buy this guy's ball of string. Whether it's bigger or not, I'm gonna get this one. When I went to see JC's ball of string, I wanted a big ball of string And I'm initially a little disappointed because the ball of string doesn't look like I expected it to look like. It's very colorful, it's nylon, and I guess you still call it twine, but it's not what I thought of as binder twine. It is a multicolored ball made of nylon, so there's people out there that mock it. Oh, it's not real binder twine, it's not the same.
I think Francis would have screamed and hollered and shouted foul and everything else if he'd known it was a plastic twine ball that beat him out.
When Cawker City eventually, Mr. Johnson dies as part of it too, but his ball is there and it's not growing anymore, and Cawker City's is still growing at least a little bit per year. Cawker City becomes the champion, they get into the Guinness World Records, and Mr. Johnson isn't literally forgotten, but he's now no longer number one. A gentleman named J.C. Payne in Texas says, well, I can do that, I can beat it. And he builds the world's largest string ball. And he literally stops the second he beats Cawker City.
Bring it on! Bring it on! Bring it on! Bring it on!
J.C. Payne simply is motivated by being famous. He wants to be, in this case, the biggest, but he wants the notoriety of having done something better than anybody else. Guinness is all about records. Superlatives, fastest, smallest, tallest, biggest.
The challenge was there. He had watched the progress of this twine ball over the years probably and said, I'm going to do that.
His mind being in the Guinness Book of Records is really significant. That's his claim to fame. I'm in the book. And he got on CNN and he made local news and, he's famous.
I did hear through the media that Francis had lost the title, and I remember being rather depressed, thinking about, oh my gosh, after all this.
Feelings were hurt around Darwin and the people who thought so much of the ball in Darwin.
On the day that Francis lost the title, I got several phone calls. The first one being about 7 o'clock in the morning, defending our ball of twine as the record holder.
Whether it was the absolute biggest, whether Cawker City was going to continue to grow theirs, whether it was going to become an annual competition, none of that played in my mind. But for the camera, for the TV crews and stuff, we measured it.
The circumference was several inches larger, and that is the reason we lost the title.
We measured it and, it was 42 1/3 inch. How'd we get the extra 1/3? Well, we held on to the last piece of string and pulled it the 1/3.
I frankly don't care if this man in Texas named Payne made this great big ball of twine. It was an accomplishment for him.
According to Ripley's, we're not the biggest, but we kind of still think we're right up there on top.
I would prefer to have a record, of course. That's the competitive spirit. That's the way I was brought up. You want to do the best.
Really, nobody got hurt by this incident. Nobody's reputation was damaged or anything. Those people did what they were supposed to do, break the record.
Mr. Payne admitted to buying some of the string. The whole bit that he hadn't spent his entire life collecting it made me think it was not as good as the Francis Johnson ball, but it's the next best thing. JC had both a tractor and some other farm implement that he customized to wind it. He had some ingenuity how he put the whole thing together. And when you start talking about tons, you got to come up with a plan.
He came up with a very clever idea how to wrap it quickly.
I'd like to say it was only months. It may have been a couple years at most.
It's marginal whether it was fair or not if he actually did use a machine. As Francis, I know, I've witnessed it many times. It was just nothing but hand labor to walk around that thing and wrap the twine on there.
The difference is that there was a goal behind that man's effort. He invested a great deal of money in it. It was specifically intended to break the record. It was basically almost a commercial venture. The work that I do, we're developing a product that allows a person to go to a grocery store and finish the transaction in under 15 seconds was one of our parameters. Rush, 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 get it done, get it quicker, make it more efficient, make it run faster, go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, let's get some production. That's the typical attitude of urban life. We're all about high rises, getting more people, building more business, making an extra dollar.
We were just starting construction of a brand new Ripley's Museum in Branson, Missouri. Okay, here's a possibility that you could get an exhibit that big and you can build around it. Because there's no roof to the building, now's the time. The logistics of moving a ball of string are one of the most difficult things I've ever been involved in. With forklift trucks and tractors, we had to move it out of this barn. Muddy day, the tractor got stuck about 8 times. Nothing's ever easy. We ended up driving through Texas, through Oklahoma, into Missouri, and you turn off the highway, and suddenly you are in little Las Vegas. There's more lights in Branson, Missouri than in the rest of the state, probably.
Branson is a unique vacation spot, if you will. We sit pretty much in the middle of the country. We have amusement parks, we have putt-putt golf, we have lots of different attractions, museums, of course the shows. We usually have close to 200,000 guests a year come through the museum. Of course, the Ball of Twine is one of the exhibits that they all want to see.
We get a lot of use out of it. We got a weigh scale beside it so you can guess how much it weighs and stuff.
The particular gallery that the Ball of Twine is in, it's one of the most popular galleries within the museum, so we get lots of different reactions.
I don't know anything about the other balls of twine because they're not as large as the ball of twine from Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas. I should know, I'm from Texas.
It's probably the exhibit that has the most photos taken in front of it. So people are obviously very interested in this ball of twine. We've not quite figured out the reaction and why people are so drawn to it. I guess just probably its size.
The J.C. Payne ball of string was not built well. It's not solid. It's solid in that there's nothing there but string, but it's just not wound tight enough that the thing could unravel very easy. It's already a little misshapen by this point, but we airlifted it again off the truck in Branson, and that ball imploded when we lowered it to the ground. I became the most frustrated ball of string man you could imagine, because I now didn't have a ball of string. I had I don't know what you even want to call it, but it is almost totally flat on the bottom.
I couldn't call that a ball because the shape of it is not a ball.
It was more like a big oval.
You know, they don't specify a round ball.
Theirs is by far the roundest.
And secondly, I would consider the fact that only one person made this ball.
I know that JC's neighbors helped him build the ball of string. I believe his family helped him build the ball of string.
I think that Guinness should have had a second category when there were multiple persons working on the twine ball instead of, in this case, just one person doing the whole thing.
One person building it is the #1 criteria. But I also really like that you had to collect it. You saved that 10-inch piece of string that came around your Christmas present. You saved the piece of string that you just found walking your dog. J.C. Payne going to the hardware store and buying 5 miles of red twine doesn't do it. It's not the same. It's quote unquote artificial.
I think Francis would have a huge problem with the way we operate in society today. He was raised to be very conservative. careful, don't waste.
Our society now does tend to want instant gratification. We want everything now. We want everything quickly. We don't really care if it even lasts. J.C. Payne made a very large ball of twine out of plastic twine. He made it very fast. Our ball of twine in Cawker City has taken 50 years.
J.C. used a machine where Francis didn't have any help. You see one man standing out there winter and summer, rain or shine, he was out rolling on that ball of twine.
It was a mission to be accomplished, and he loved it.
I, for one, respect Francis for the patience and the commitment he had. There's a lot of people out there would love to do what Francis did if they just had the perseverance and the patience to do it. But they haven't, so they'll go on dreaming probably.
The ball of twine here in Cawker City was not started to break a record. It was not started, probably not even as a hobby. It was just a way to get the string up off the barn floor. This wasn't built for a museum. It wasn't built to be hauled off and taken somewhere and measured and recorded. It just happened. It grew. It became something.
I'd say the ball of twine is a symbol of the community.
I think it does say something about the people. Even if it's a recycling thing, we save things and we build on it, and it makes us durable.
I don't know for sure what all the ball would do from the whole world standpoint, but I know the ball has a lot to do with a sense of community here and in the near area, because it's a focal point of our community, and in a lot of ways the community revolves around that ball of twine. There are so many things that separate us, and yet we can look at the ball of twine, we can see an intertangling of things that bring people together, that give people an opportunity for hope.
This is what life is all about. What we have here, the feelings we have here, the caring, the working together.
Mr. Stober's father was ill, and the neighbors all come in, and they plowed all his land. He had about 80, 90 farmers come in there, and they plowed that land in about 2 or 3 hours. In fact, they had horses that was in the way of horses that was trying to plow. They'd have to pull him out, but this was just the generosity of the people.
It's just nice to know that people care and that there are people that you can trust out there.
I'm using this opportunity as a chance to renew my faith in American traditions. It's refreshing. I find a great deal of faith in humanity. In human nature, I feel these people are what really makes America America. It's what keeps our country together, not necessarily all the businessmen and the lawyers and the politicians in the cities.
We help people this way. What's he going to do when he goes back? Is he going to reach out more to people and be more like we are here maybe again, and not be so afraid of everyone?
I think the anti-city prescription is slow down, take it easy, what's your hurry? There's no need to rush, because here there's no reason to hurry. To use a phrase against diametrically opposite of what my life the rest of the year is all about. We're all about high rises, getting more people, making more production, building more business, making an extra dollar.
There's none of us out here that have a lot of money, and we're all kind of in the same boat. The rural life just has that little extra to give to us as human beings, and that's one of the benefits, is giving from the heart and not expecting anything for it. We're just working for everybody and not ourselves.
We've got each other today, so hold hands and sing as we tumble this way. Together we're stronger, and I know we're okay, and you know we belong here, together as one.
Cawker City's got the world's largest ball of twine, and as of 2 years ago, they beat out China.
We've heard reports that in China, they're trying to outdo our ball of twine with one larger.
And now that we have China beat, I think they're just going to keep adding and stay ahead of them.
These are unsubstantiated, but I'm sure that Ripley's will be looking into that and make sure that we retain the largest ball of twine.
today, so hold hands and sing as we tumble and sway. Together we're stronger, and I know we're okay, and you know we belong here. Together as one, we've got each other today, so hold hands and sing as we tumble and sway. Together we're stronger, and I know we're okay, and you know we belong here. Together as one.
We get together.